Thanks everyone for being here this evening. You know, I'll talk a little bit about Stuart and how I got involved with Values in Action. It was actually somewhat of a tough time in my family's life, and my older son, and Council President Miller knows him, and Mayor Clough knows him as well, was being bullied. And he actually was bullied so severely that he didn't finish high school in another state. And so when that happened, I formed an organization to address bullying and met Stuart. Through that interaction. At that point, I decided that it would be better to join forces with Stuart because, as Mr. Gibbons said, he's probably one of the most tenacious people you'll ever meet. And I thought it'd be better to join, and I did join his board for a few years, as did my wife. So we're intimately involved in the organization for a long time. And I had to resign being on the board when I went to the legislature because Stuart, Values in Action makes direct passes of the legislature. I had a fiduciary responsibility to Values in Action, the legislature was allowed to happen. So I withdrew my board position with Values in Action, but not my interaction with Stuart, because that issue I have with my older son, and he, by the way, Mike Gibbons and I have something in common, as his son's a naval aviator, not a Navy pilot, I learned that. My son is a pilot in the Air Force, so we have that in common. So my son did read that stuff. The second piece of legislation I introduced was a bill dealing with anti-bullying and hazing, and because the two are very closely related. And any time I called Stuart to come and testify, he would come, and he was very insistent that he wanted to come and put me in contact with other people who could be instrumental in sharing the message of not only kindness, but how important it is to deal with this issue of bullying and hazing. And at that point, Stuart, I'll help you remember this, is we had a contagion of suicides related to bullying, especially in Muskegon County. We had 8 suicides within like a 1-month period related directly to bullying. So the issue is personal to me. Stuart's mission is personal to me, and his tenacity in seeing what he believes to be the way things should be is evidenced by the organization where it is today and his commitment to that. I'm half proud to say that after I left the legislature, part of that bill passed. Right? The hazing part did pass, the bullying unfortunately did not. I will say though, when Stuart was with me, when we were before the Senate, it was the last day of the session, and Dale Miller knows this when he was in the Senate and the House. Last day, a lot of weird stuff happens. And we were promised that Collins law would become law that day. It would come out of committee and go right to the floor, and for some reason it didn't happen. And I had Colin's mother, Colin Wyatt, some of you may know the OE student who died of hazing, in tears, wondering why this bill didn't pass. And sometimes things just happen the way they do. The bill passed 90 days later. It passed in March of the next year, but it only passed because another student in Bowling Green died of hazing. And that was the impetus. And I am a firm believer that the efforts that Stuart puts forth and those of us who fight for the right thing to do in this space, if that bill would have passed that December, then Stone Colts would still be alive today. And that's what Stone Colts' mother said in testifying before the House when that bill was ultimately passed. The fight is a worthy fight. Kindness is needed in this world more than ever. And so I applaud Stuart and the organization for the work they continue to do. Now, I'll talk a little bit, I want to end there with that, with a positive that Stuart's on the right path and always has been. Mayor Clough, let me give you a little history there. I moved here 18 years ago, and the mayor was one of the first people that I met, first persons I met when I moved here. And he and I hit it off right away. As a matter of fact, he married my wife and me 18 years ago, I believe it 18 years ago this December. So he and I built a strong relationship. When I moved here, I was getting involved in politics. Dennis was the first one to truly believe in me, and I've not forgotten that. And I have a strong sense of loyalty to people who helped me. And he and I worked together. I was at county council with Dale. Meredith, we didn't have a chance to serve together, and I apologize for that. But I worked with Mayor Clough on county issues, and I went to the legislature and worked with him on those issues. And now I'm very fortunate to be serving my 4th year as City Council President with Mayor Clough. I looked at Blaine, I wasn't going to say this, but Blaine and I talk a lot, and he always asks me what's going on in the city of Westlake. And what I'm going to say is a testament to the city and to the the way the mayor's administered the city for the last 40 years. As of late, our big issue right now is turf versus natural grass on our athletic fields. That's what we struggle with in Westlake. Because under the mayor's tutelage and under his guidance and direction, along with the staff and the councils before us, we have put together, and he's put together and led a city that he started as mayor 40 years ago. 15,000 people, half the city, as he tells me, was his council ward, was rural. As we would acknowledge it today, it was farmland. Today, the city's 35,000 people strong. Financially, we're very strong financial position. And the city itself, as is evidenced by its reputation, is where it is, in my opinion, because of the work and dedication of Mayor Clough. So it is my honor, Mr. Sumner, and how do you want to do this? Honor, I guess, as a former board member, and as the one who's been asked to present this on behalf of Values and Action, to present Mayor Clough with this award. Mayor.
Thank you, Dave. Let me say that I really didn't tell too many people that I was going to be honored today because it's really not all about me. It never was about me. I've been involved in public service for 43 plus years, and it's a team that we've put together that has helped to make our community the community that it has become. So this award should really be spread out to my entire team, those that have worked with me over the years. But I have to say that I really appreciate being honored with the likes of Joe Zimmerman, Mike Westlake, and Meredith Turner. I never really look at myself as much of a leader, recognizing that the position of mayor, you're often interpreted to be the leader of the community because I have to work with so many members of my team and the community. Without the support of the community, we could not have accomplished what we've accomplished. But what I was telling Stuart earlier is I see so much joy when all you do is give someone a smile when you run into them. You don't know what they're thinking about half the time. Some people would say, why would you worry about somebody else? Well, I think that's the nature of being a person. Being human is to try to help others any way you can. The story that Mike Gibbons brought up about putting air in someone's tire. There are so many examples that we all can probably bring forward on how we brought joy to someone. Whatever it is that we may have done, reaching out to someone who lost their spouse, putting that smile on your face, going up to someone and saying thank you for something that they may have done. It's so satisfying, and it's part of the reason why I'm in public service is because we have the unique opportunity to make a difference, to improve the quality of life within our entire community. And I've just been so fortunate over the years to be able to stick around and get the support of the community. But I think it's because we did make a difference, not only in one person's life, but in many people's lives. But all you really need to do is be kind to somebody, and it makes a big difference each and every day. And I do that every time. At Christmas time, when we were talking about Stuart, most people are in a good mood at Christmas time. You'd be surprised how many people that I see in my community center. A lot of seniors have lost their spouse. They're just looking for someone to reach out to them. And we have different events at our community center. It's been a great activity, location. And people often ask me, what is the most important thing that I felt would be a legacy for me in the community? And you know what I say? It's not Copper Park. Copper Park is somewhat commercial. But the community center, the recreation center brings me the most joy because people of all ages go there on a regular basis and change their life for that particular day, for that particular activity. So I would encourage you again, anything that you can do to bring joy to someone's life. As I said, it could be just simply a smile, a kind word, or if you're lucky to be in a position of public service, to make a difference by the programs, the activities, and what you do for that community. So thank you very much. I'm very pleased to have this award, but it really is my team that does that. I'd like to thank Dave for being my council president. That makes it easier to work with him and get more things done.